It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to the Science Bowl. The two teams you're about to meet today have won once previously, and they're vying today for the chance to move on to compete in the semifinals. And this year, championship match, the 36th year we've had Science Bowl here in Prince George's Schools. We invite you to play along, see if you can match wits with these young people here and improve your own scientific literacy. Let's meet our first team today. They hail from Longfields Elementary School, and let's say hello to our players. Hannah, who is our captain. Hey, Hannah. She's a 5th grader. We have 2 4th graders assisting Hannah today. Grayson is here. Hey, Grayson. Another 4th grader. And Nathan, tremendous player. Hey, Nathan, good to have you back. We start our teams out with 50 points, no penalties for incorrect answers. 6 categories of questions, a total of 18 questions. Let's see how many they get right. So, Longfields, if you're ready, let's get started with the green things questions. 3 questions, all about plants. Here we go. For 5 points. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a famous actor, starred in a recent movie as a ship's captain going on a cruise through one of these hot tropical forests.
Rainforest.
Jumanji.
I need the name of these hot tropical forests.
Rainforest.
No, we're looking for jungle. He was on a jungle cruise. Jungle was the answer that we wanted for 5 points there. Let's go to 15 points. Sadly, oak trees, the ones that produce acorns, are dying in this part of the country for a number of reasons, including too much rain last year, which waterlogged the soil, too much water in the soil, making the soil anaerobic, meaning what necessity was missing for the trees to grow. Anaerobic soil doesn't have enough what?
Like
Food. Minerals. Starch. Sugar.
You're thinking about all those right things. The word itself, aerobic. Aerobic refers to like breathing. Anaerobic means not enough oxygen. Not enough oxygen. You know, after a heavy rain, have you ever noticed that there are earthworms all over the sidewalk? Earthworms will suffocate because all the oxygen is gone because the rain has waterlogged that soil. So that's why they've got to come up. All right, let's move on to the 25-point question in green things. In Tennessee, there's a beautiful national park called the Great Smokies. The smoke in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park is not real smoke. No, it is really water and other kinds of chemicals in this V initial form that the tree has given off. Vapor, absolutely right. All those different vapors in the air. Got yourselves 25 points. You did it. Let's go to the zoo. 5 points. To get children to want to get vaccinated. Some did not want to get vaccinated. There is an animal mascot. His name is Kalo, K-A-L-O. He's one of these animals that is naturally masked and appears to wash its hands as it washes its food.
Raccoon.
Raccoons.
A raccoon, yeah, he naturally has a mask on anyhow. Good answer. For 15 points, a fisherman off the coast of the state of Maine pulled in one of these largest of all crustaceans. It was a 1 in 100 million chance. This one had a shell of all different colors that they called cotton candy. Named this largest of all crustaceans that was pulled from the ocean off the coast of Maine.
I think lobster.
Yes.
No.
Oyster.
You don't want to say lobster? What do you want to say?
Let's go with lobster. Lobster.
Let's go with lobster. Absolutely right. Lobster is the biggest, and of course, they're very tasty, and sometimes they come up with strange colors. At one time, it was considered junk food. Nobody wanted to eat it. Now you have to pay a lot of money. There were prisoners in Maine that could only be fed lobsters twice a week, otherwise they would revolt. Imagine that. 25 points. Zoo. Picture. Let's have a look. Strange picture. The process of drawing oddly shaped voting districts, starting by a governor called Elbridge Gerry, Gerry, and named gerrymandering, is so named because that first district resembled one of what kind of amphibians? A newt is an example of one.
Salamander.
You got it. That's why they call it gerrymandering, from salamander. Good answer. Let's go to Bodyy Systems. I have 3 multiple choice questions for you. Here you go. If you are suffering from vertigo, vertigo, do you need to see a dermatologist? Be careful what you eat. Or avoid riding your bicycle. If you're suffering from vertigo, do you need to see a dermatologist? Be careful what you eat, or avoid riding your bicycle.
Okay, so listen to the word. No, first pay attention to the word vertigo.
I think I know what it means, but I think it's avoid riding your bicycle.
You're absolutely right. Vertigo is when you are dizzy. When you are dizzy, and if you're dizzy, the last thing you want to do is be on a bicycle. Excellent work, 5 points. Bodyy Systems for 15, multiple choice. If a doctor is performing an ultrasound to see if there are any fatty deposits in your carotid arteries, C-A-R-O-T-I-D, your carotid arteries, would he or she be checking the arteries in your leg, in your heart, or in your neck? Where are those, in which of those places would you find a carotid artery? Your leg, your heart, or your neck?
Heart?
Let's go with
Heart. Actually, carotid comes from a word that means kind of goat, and it's actually in your neck. The carotid artery is in your neck here. So you've got to be very careful that there are no fatty deposits in there, because if they get loose, they can cause a stroke or a heart attack. All right, 25 points. All right, this is interesting. You think you have studied hard and you're good students? Listen to this. One of the toughest tests in the whole world requires 4 years to prepare for. It's called the knowledge. It's given to London taxi drivers who have to know how to get to 100,000 addresses in London without a map or GPS. Imagine that. It's been shown that this part of those drivers who pass the test is larger and better developed in us normal humans. The part of the brain that is so developed to remember all of that has the same name as the scientific name for a seahorse. Is it the colossum, the hippocampus, or the dura mater?
What should we choose?
The colossum, the hippocampus, or the dura mater? The part of the human brain that has remembered all of those addresses also has the same name as the scientific name as a seahorse.
Hippocampus?
Is that your answer? It is the hippocampus, because hippo means horse, like a hippopotamus. That was your clue in there. That's why I gave you that question. Good, 25 points. Which means you end the first round with the 150 points. You're looking good, sounded good. Nice work, guys. All right, it is now time to meet that team from University Park Elementary School. And let's say hello to their captain, Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte. Welcome back. She's a 6th grader here for her 2nd year of competition on the Science Bowl. She's just terrific. Joined by 2 terrific 5th graders. Victoria is here. Hey, Victoria, welcome back to the bowl. And joining her is Juniper. Hey, Juniper, a great player as well. All right. If you are ready, and again, you are playing for the chance to go to the semifinals, and you're doing well so far, good luck on these first 9 questions for you in this game. Here we go. Green things for 5 points. Along with all the other shortages these days, Canadian sugar maple tree growers can't keep up with the demand for maple syrup, which is made from this that's tapped from the maple tree.
Sap.
Yeah, it's the sap, and they boil it down to make that wonderful maple syrup. You got it. 5 points to start out. For 15 points in green things. When the ocean water gets too warm, coral reefs will often bleach. They'll turn white because they evict these green things with which they normally coexist.
Maybe polyps?
Say it again, please.
Polyps?
Polyps is a possibility here. Remember the category green things.
Green things. When I think of things that make things colorful, I think of chlorophyll, but that is for leaves. What do you guys think?
Correct answer here is algae. Algae, it's a symbiotic relationship between the coral and the algae there. Good try. Let's go into the 25-point question. When a plant flowers, some of them flower in the spring, some in the summer, some even in the fall, when it flowers is determined by a phenomenon known as photoperiodism, which means what? Parse that word and you've got the answer. Photoperiodism.
Like
I think
the
it has
period.
something to do with the sun.
What?
Go ahead, Juniper. What are you saying?
Like maybe the period of the year, maybe.
It could be how the earth is tilted in compared to the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the sun.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
Mr. C said, like part of the word, so period.
And that would be a time.
Yeah. So.
Put all that together for me. Charlotte, what do you want to say?
Could I pass it to Victoria?
Sure. Victoria, go for it.
Where the sun is at that time of year?
Where the sun is at that time of year. Yes, we will accept that. It's the amount of light that is received each day, and that is dependent on the position of the sun, so we will give that to you for 25 points. Let's go to the zoo. Let's look at a picture. I like this guy. This fuzzy orange and brown caterpillar with an Earth sign name eventually changes into an Isabella tiger moth. Name it.
Woolly bear.
It is a woolly bear, absolutely right. It does, it just looks fuzzy. And the local lore is that you can tell how bad the winter is going to be by seeing how much orange is on the body of the woolly bear. Doesn't always work. It's like the groundhog, can't always believe that. 15 points in zoo, good answer. This North American marsupial doesn't always, but can have an O to start its name.
Possum.
Yeah, it could be a possum or an opossum. Good. 25 points in zoo. The seeds of squash, like vegetables like acorn squash or spaghetti squash or pumpkins, were originally spread by the poop of these extinct elephant-like mammals similar to the mammoth.
It could be a rhino, but I think they're not extinct. What elephant-like?
But the thing is, they go where like squash and stuff.
Yeah.
If you sign up for the
All right, the clue there was elephant-like, similar to a mammoth. If you watch the Ice Age animated movies, you saw the mastodon. It's a mastodon. A mastodon is similar to a mammoth. All right, let's go to the Bodyy Systems for your last 3 questions for this opening round here. Bodyy Systems for 5 points. You know it. We've all been there. If something doesn't seem quite right, it's not real, it's not authentic, there's something phony, we say it doesn't pass this test. Name for one of your senses.
It could be, well, your senses. There's hearing, touch, smell, sight.
Maybe I feel like it's
What was that?
maybe the smell test. I feel like that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think go for the smell test.
Yeah,
Okay.
the smell.
It is the smell test. If it doesn't pass the smell test, it's like the smell test is when you open up milk. I don't care what the date says. If it's sour and it's gone bad, you can smell it. You know, that's the test. Good. All right, for 15 points. Our clavicles, our collarbones, they're not fused together like those in birds to form this kind of bone. The one that's pulled apart at Thanksgiving when you and your sister or brother go after it to see who gets the bigger half when you pull it apart. Name that bone.
a wishbone.
The wishbone is right. That's it. And here is your last question in Bodyy Systems for 25 points. If you are a cardiologist, you specialize in the treatment of the heart. If you're a pulmonologist, you treat the lungs. But if you're a hepatologist, Hepatologist, a hepatologist, you are concerned about this body organ.
It's an organ, so it could be the kidneys. What other organs?
They already said heart and lungs, so it can't be any of those.
Pancreas.
What
Which one
about
do you want to go with?
Maybe
your stomach?
Oh, your intestines. It could be.
Okay, Charlotte, you've heard a lot of, pick an organ for me.
Your intestine.
Your intestines. Actually, if you've ever heard of the disease hepatitis, hepatitis afflicts the liver. Hepatologists are concerned about diseases of the liver. You didn't get those points, but you do end this first round with 120 points, University Park. Nicely done. It's time now to bring back that team from Longfields, and Hannah and Grayson and Nathan are back with us. And if you didn't have the pleasure of meeting them the first time they appeared, let's introduce them to you now. Let's go first to the captain. And Hannah, nice to have you here today. How did they make you the captain of the team? They chose well, but how did they do it?
They chose me as captain because we all took a test, and I think I got the highest score on the test. And I also was like the oldest, so.
Experience counts, and so does talent. And you're a little bit older, and you've got lots of talent there. You're doing such a great job here. You're cool, and you're collected, and you're disciplined, and that's so important in a leader, which you are. Tell us a little bit about, I know you have certain aspirations. You've been thinking about a career. Share those with us.
Well, I want to be a chef and a teacher.
Yeah, and I remember asking her before, and she loves to whip up some macaroni and cheese, and she makes a mean cheesecake, I hear, too. Do you flavor it? Is it a blueberry cheesecake, or what do you do with that cheesecake?
Sometimes it depends on the occasion, but sometimes I make a raspberry puree with it to go on top.
Oh, boy, that sounds really great. And, you know, if you're a chef, cooking is just science. It's all science. You've got to know how things react, and also you're well poised to be successful, whatever you want to do, chef and anything else you want to do. Nice to have you with us again, Hannah. Let's talk to Grayson. Hey, Grayson.
Hello.
Grayson told me last time, nice to have you back, that you're interested in joining the U.S. Navy. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that a family tradition, can I ask?
Well, my stepdad was in the Army.
Very good.
And I don't believe anyone else in my family was in the
So you have a
military.
bit of a history of military service. What got you interested in the Navy?
Well, I've been doing some projects on like nuclear physics and stuff, and you could be a nuclear scientist in the Navy and work on nuclear reactors, so that's what got me interested in it.
Absolutely right. Nuclear-powered submarines, all kinds of opportunities out there. They'll be lucky to get you. Nice to have you back, Nathan. Grayson. Let's talk to Nathan now. And Nathan, he's an emotional player. Yeah, he's a fourth grader, and you really get into this game. You look like you're having a good time. Are you?
I am. It's going good.
I'm glad that, yeah, these masks that you guys are wearing out there, I'm by myself here, it just makes it hard to breathe and to talk, but you're doing a nice job there. And tell us what you'd like to do when you get older, Nathan.
First I'd like to be a paleontologist so I could find new dinosaurs that's never been seen before. I also want to become a scientist so I can study new things and make like new stuff that people have never done before. And I also want to become an astronaut so I can find new planets, new suns, maybe new solar system, and maybe even find some extraterrestrial life. I also want to be an animal rights activist so I can stop animals from getting extinct.
Oh my goodness, you've got quite a lot of ambition, and I love your passion and the things you want to do, and you want to change the world. You want to make an impression, and something tells me you're going to do that. As a fourth grader, you've already impressed me and the people who are watching here today. Good luck to you, young man, and keep dreaming, all right? Keep dreaming and make them come true. I have 9 more questions for you. Longfields, you're doing well. Let's go to the Let's Get Physical category. Here we go with the 5-point question. Although the book is about 2 teenagers, its title makes you think astronomy is the main topic. The book is called The Sun is Also a Blank, one of these shining celestial objects.
Stars.
That's right. The sun is also a star. For 15 points, and let's get physical. An experiment performed on Mars by a NASA probe some years ago seemed to produce evidence of life. Vaporized soil samples produced organic rather than inorganic byproducts, meaning that what chemical element necessary for life might be present in the Martian soil, since they found organic byproducts.
Water?
What chemical element?
What do you think?
Oxygen?
Yeah.
Correct answer here is carbon. Carbon. Anytime you say something is organic, it is carbon. Inorganic things do not have carbon in them. Good try. Let's get this next one, 25 points. If you eat turkey at Thanksgiving, if you're like normal people, when you're finished, the first thing you want to do is take a nap. It makes you sleepy. Tryptophan, a chemical long associated with making you sleepy after eating turkey at Thanksgiving, is one of these kinds of acids, 20 of which are essential to our health.
Gastric?
What do you think, Grayson?
I honestly don't know.
Well, let's go with what Nathan said.
All right, it was a good try. You've probably heard of these. Are called amino acids. There are essential amino acids we need, and tryptophan is one of them. Let's go to potpourri for 5 points. There was a movie called Ron's Gone Wrong. It was an animated movie, and the boy that starred in the movie, Barney, had a digital best friend by the name of Ron. He was a software application that ran into problems. This thing that Ron is runs simple repetitive activities faster than humans. What is that B initialed digital assistant called?
I was gonna say an AI, but you said like it was a B initial, so.
Maybe it's no. Byproduct?
A digital friend, a digital assistant is a bot, B-O-T, a B-bot, a B-bot. Let's go to 15 points in potpourri. Washington football team player, now Commander player, Chase Young, was lost for the rest of the football season after suffering an ACL injury, which is a leg injury that stands for A, anterior, C, cruciate. What is the L? What body part is the L that he injured?
Leg?
leg.
Lungs?
It's found in the leg. It's found in the leg, among other places. Say it again. Someone said something. Correct answer is a ligament. Anterior cruciate ligament. Oftentimes, if you watch football games, they diagnose that as a problem after players have been injured. Let's look at a picture for potpourri for 25 points. This doesn't look real, but it is. This is a fruit. These are fruits called pollia, P-O-L-L-I-A, the iridescent pollia fruit. But that color is deceptive. It has no soft pulp like other fruits. It's not nice and juicy like a peach or an orange. But its unique color, that purple, the most striking color in the whole plant world, does serve what purpose? What does it help the plant to do to be that beautiful color, even though it has no pulp to offer anybody? Think about where it would be in nature. What might be attracted to it? Why would they be attracted to it? And how would it benefit that fruit?
So it could like attract bees, so then it could.
So they could pollinate.
No, just imagine if you are a hungry bird and you see these things, oh, wow, I bet it's going to be great. So you come down and you eat
poisonous. So that other things don't eat it?
No, it's not poisonous. It actually wants animals to come close because what's inside of each fruit? A seed. So if the bird eats that thing, thinking it's good, it's going to fly somewhere, it's going to poop out that seed, and it's going to help to spread that plant around. That was kind of hard to get to, but I was hoping maybe you would have thought that it was a reason to attract, not pollinators, but things that wanted to eat it. All right, 3 more questions. Let's go to DATELINE for 5 points, a multiple choice question. You know, President Biden is amazing. He's come close to death a number of times. He suffered, when he was younger, a dangerously swollen artery in his brain. If that artery had burst, he most likely would not have survived. That swollen artery in his brain, was it known as a thrombosis, an embolism, or an aneurysm? Thrombosis, embolism, or aneurysm? A swollen blood vessel. Other people get it too, not just presidents.
Aneurysm, maybe?
Aneurysm is right, absolutely right. And a number of people have those, and that's when they have to clamp them and hope they get them in time. Good answer. 15 points. 2 more questions. A new children's book subtitled The Spectacular Science of the Very, Very, Very Small has as its title this 4-letter word that is a prefix for 1 billionth.
True.
It's nano, N-A-N-O. Nano are things that are just very, very tiny, and that's a prefix that means 1 billion. Here's your last question. 3-part answer. We recently witnessed the transit of the planet Mercury when we saw that small planet pass in front of the sun. We were here on Earth, and we saw it. It looked like a little black dot that went right across the face of the sun. If we were on Mars, we're going to get there someday. I think Nathan may be up there someday. He's going to make history. If Nathan is standing on Mars one day, he would be able to watch the transit of what 3 planets passing in front of the face of the sun. You have to know the order of the planets to answer this. So you're standing
Venus, Earth, and Mars.
No.
You're on Mars.
Mercury. Venus, Earth, and Mercury, I think.
That's it. Venus, Earth, and Mercury. Good. 25 points. That's the way to end the game. It means you end the game with 185 points. Will that be enough? It may be. We'll find out in just a few moments. It's now time to welcome back that team from University Park. And yes, 3 outstanding young ladies here playing the game well. Let's find out a little bit about each one of them. Let's talk to Charlotte. And Charlotte has been playing our game for a couple of years now. And she loves the competition. And tell us how you prepared for the Science Bowl. What did y'all do?
Watching a lot of videos and reading science articles.
Yeah, boy, the internet is just full of science articles. If you just put in science news, and you can hardly read it all, and every day it seems like it's something different. And if you've noticed, I try to tap into that in some of our questions here. Other than science, do you have a favorite subject?
Probably music or art.
Yeah, because you want to be a musician one day, don't you? You had told me that once before. Do you play a musical instrument?
No, I sing.
You sing. Wow. Well, all of us who can't carry a tune in a bucket are envious that you can sing well, and you're a good science player, too. Let's talk to your teammates here, Charlotte. Let's go to Victoria. Victoria's a 5th grader. Charlotte is in the 6th grade. And Victoria, when did you first hear about the Science Bowl? How did you know about us?
Well, once in the fall, we were just like eating lunch outside because it was like really nice weather, and Mr. Favero came by and he was like, "Oh, hi guys, do you want to try out for Science Bowl?" So I was like, "Why not?" And I found out that I really liked it, so that's why I'm here.
Oh, that's a great story. And I like what you said, why not? You know, just because you haven't done something before doesn't mean you can't do well at it. And you know, it's a new experience. Try different things to see which one is an epiphany where, wow, maybe I'd like to do that for the rest of my life. Now, you've told me before what you're thinking about for your future. Tell us again.
Well, I'd really like to be a veterinarian, like an animal doctor.
Yeah, because I know you have 2 cats at home, don't you? What are their names?
Dreamy and Frisco.
Ah, do they get along well?
Yep. Once in a while, just because they're brothers, just like real siblings, they sometimes fight, but usually they're friends.
Yeah, even if we fight with our brothers and sisters, deep down we love them all, even though at the moment we question that, don't we? Yeah. Well, I bet you'd be a great veterinarian someday, Victoria. Let's talk to Juniper. Juniper, nice to have you back on the show. And let me ask you the same question. How did you know about this show?
Well, in the past grades, I've heard announcements that, like, good luck to the Science Bowl team. And now that I was able to get in, I was curious. And pretty much the same way Victoria got in, I was interested in it.
That's great. And Mr. Favero, he chose well, and there's evidence of University Park's success. You've won the county championship 6 times, and I bet there are plaques around the building reminding you of that. So you're part of a great tradition. Good luck in the next half here. Juniper, you're playing a great game. All right, we have 9 more questions for you. Let's get to the Let's Get Physical category questions, University Park. Let's get started for 5 points. Among this planet's oddities are clouds made of sulfuric acid, very high temperatures, and an orbit that goes the other way round from the other planets.
It has to be one of the gas planets.
Yeah, it's a gas planet, so it could be Uranus or maybe Venus.
Uranus, Venus,
What do you guys think?
Saturn, Mars. Not Mars. So it could be Uranus, Venus.
What you got, Charlotte?
Venus.
It is indeed Venus, yes, has a retrograde orbit. It's so close by, but we don't want to go there. It's just not habitable in any way, shape, or form. For 15 points, nice start. Let's get physical for 15. The Latin word for clouds is this N-initialed word that follows cumulo what when describing thunderheads before a huge storm?
Nimbus?
Nimbus is right. Thank you very much, Victoria. Nimbus or nimbi. Let's get physical for 25 points. Very thick fog is often described with this adjective, a scientific measurement you can calculate by dividing the mass by the volume.
What would you say to a lot of fog?
Thick as pea soup.
What?
I guess that's a
That's
phrase.
not helpful.
I like Victoria. There are pea soup fogs. Yes, indeed. We're looking for a different adjective, which is also a scientific measurement you can get by dividing the mass by the volume. It is density. Dense fog. You get up in the morning and you turn on the radio, there is dense fog, limited visibility. Take your time. All right, let's go to potpourri for 5 points. I like this question. To show the randomness of investment advice, the number of times one of these rodents, named Mr. Gox, ran around the wheel in his cage was used to buy cryptocurrency recently.
Hamster?
A hamster is right. They watched the hamster and they counted it. It was hardly scientific, but sometimes superstition works. It was hamster. Good. Potpourri for 15 points is a multiple choice question, and it's a visual question. Have a look. All right. These are not lovebirds. These are albatrosses, the longest winged birds that fly over the ocean. They rarely land. Because of climate change and the disruption of their breeding cycles and the availability of food, albatrosses are no longer as monogamous, monogamous, they are no longer as monogamous as they once were noted to be. Meaning, here are your choices. They become vegetarian, they are divorcing their partners, or they're no longer spending practically their entire lives at sea.
The third choice?
Yeah, third choice.
No longer spending their entire lives at sea. Mono means one, and gamus means mate. So they had one mate for life, but because of all these disruptions, they're literally splitting up. They don't need a lawyer, but they're going through divorces. All right, let's get to the question, 25 points. Your answer is a color. While chlorophyll is the best known of the pigments in plants, giving them their green color, there are other pigments in plants like phycocyanin, a blue pigment found in blue-green algae, and phycoerythrin, found in algae that is this color, phycoerythrin. Phycoerythrin, algae of what color?
It's not green or blue. Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking maybe purple or red.
But what colors does algae come in?
Purple.
Red.
Yeah, purple. I'm thinking purple.
Okay.
Purple, that's close. Erythrin, you find in the word erythrocytes, which are the red blood cells. Erythro is red. Red was you almost had it there. You almost had it. 3 more questions. All right, girls, here we go. Let's get them all. 5 points in DATELINE. NASA's DART, D-A-R-T project. Get this. We're sending a rocket directly at Deimos, a small space object out there, kind of a rock, hoping the collision will alter the course of the nearby Didymos, one of these objects orbiting between Mars and Jupiter.
Maybe no.
An asteroid or a comet could be.
Yeah, because why would you want to change it if it's not going to do any harm? So.
Okay, Charlotte, what you got?
I think it's an asteroid.
It is an asteroid. That's the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. And yes, they think if something is headed toward Earth, we want to have some weapon that we could somehow alter the course of it and spare Earth. 15, 2 more questions. Joseph Priestley, famous scientist, founded what is known as pneumatic chemistry, the study of gases. The very first gas ever identified was this component of the air that we breathe that is causing climate change today, that by itself can suffocate living organisms, and was and is still used in soda water. Name that gas.
Carbon.
Carbon?
Yeah, I think it's carbon.
All right, I need the gas.
Carbon dioxide.
Yes, CO2, carbon dioxide. That's the fizz. That's the carbonation, which you alluded to there. Good. All right, last question of the game. A new book called Hurricane Lizards and Plastic Squids. It's all about how animals have to adapt or die as we go through climate change. Here's an example. To keep from being blown off trees during hurricanes, some lizards are being born with longer front legs and bigger adhesive pads on their toes so they can stay stuck to the trunk. That is an example of evolution, or another way of evolution, another way of saying evolution is natural what?
Selection.
Yes, ma'am. Natural selection. You got it, Charlotte. Good answer. 25 points, which means you end the game with 190 points. Nice work. Well, if you thought this was a close game, you thought right. It came down to a single question. Just 5 points separates our winner from our runner-up. That testifies to the skill of these young people here today. A round of applause for everybody for a tremendous game today. Tremendous game between Longfields and University Park. Those final tallies, that final tally is Longfields 185, University Park 190 by just 5 points. University Park, congratulations. You are headed to the semifinals. And Longfields, you came within a whisker. You couldn't have played any better. All of you did such a great job here today. We will see University Park in the semifinals, and you'll be seeing Longfields and University Park in future years here in the Science Bowl, because this talent doesn't go away. It just gets better and better. We have our principals out there. We have a principal, Carmen Bell from Longfields. We have our coaches, Mr. Favero from University Park, Miss Bear from Longfields. All of our players, our alternates, Mason, Destiny, Nahom, Alexander, Zoe, and Emily, all here making Science Bowl possible. I'm proud of them, and I know you are too. Thanks for playing along today, and thank you for supporting Science Bowl. Till next time, I'm Dave Zarin. Bye-bye, everybody.